Welcome back. Good afternoon. How was lunch? That good, huh? Okay. Our next talk is about the reinvention of work, and our speaker is the Senior Vice President of Categories and Geographies at Elance Odesk. Please help me welcome Rich Pearson.
I'm thrilled to be here and happy to be your post-lunch entertainment. What I thought I'd do is talk a little bit about the reinvention of work, but really it's about how you can change the rules for your business. And this can apply to how you work or to any other aspect of your business. I wanted to start with a story about a man named Vivek who was born in India. His sport background was soccer and cricket. He moved to the US and his 12-year-old daughter wanted him to coach her basketball team. He knew nothing about basketball. He went and watched the games and noticed one thing that puzzled him is that after each team would score a basket, they would run back and defend half the court, leaving the other half undefended. Every team was acting in the same way and playing in the same way. They did their first 3 games playing this way, the same as every other team, and they lost each game. They were smaller, less experienced, and they had fewer skills. At that point, Vivek decided to change the game. He coached the team to cover the whole court. They practiced without balls, and they got fit so they could run all game covering the entire court. They won and destroyed the competition their next 10 games. So much so that some of the opposing coaches and parents would come up and say, "This is unfair. You've changed the rules." And he said, "No, I have changed my strategy, and as a result, we have a competitive advantage." So the purpose of my talk is to tell you about how you can change the strategy of hiring and give your company or department in your company an advantage. Elance Odesk is located in Silicon Valley. We compete with some of the largest companies in the world for talent. It's almost like there's this enormous black hole of companies sucking all of the talent into their companies. And in addition to these large companies that I'm showing here, there are over 10,000 startups all trying to be the next Google. How can you compete in this type of environment? You can overpay for talent. You can, as many of the companies do, try to offer a lot of perks, a bus to come to work as a way to differentiate. You end up, usually, taking too long to fill a position, often months to fill a single position. So what we did is we realized that the best talent in the world wasn't inside the 4 walls of our company. Instead, it was outside in the world. We now have over 500 freelancers to go with our 200 employees in Silicon Valley, and we use them as front-end designers, as writers, as customer support agents. They are involved in each of our daily meetings. We are able to compete and punch above our weight because we now have this workforce that is helping us outpace our competition. How do we do this? And more importantly, how do you take advantage of this? The workforce and the face of the workforce is changing. This new generation of workers that are coming online and who have grown up online and are entering the workforce, they're no longer looking for job security. They're looking for income security. They want to be employable, not employed. And they're tying their fortunes to their skills rather than to a company. And it goes without saying, from classified ads to job boards to LinkedIn, the workforce has evolved and the workplace has evolved where now it is the online workplace. Elance and Odesk, there are 2 workplaces, elance.com and odesk.com. Right now, over $1 billion will be spent in 2014 and earned by freelancers on both platforms. We now have almost 2.5 million businesses hiring on Elance, ranging from the very small startup to the Coca-Colas, Johnson & Johnsons, and IBMs of the world. Freelancers in 180 countries are earning money and looking for jobs that are not in their village, not in even their country. They're finding clients all over the world, and companies around the world are able to access talent on demand, and the best talent that is available. So what does this mean in UAE? We've talked about a lot of numbers that are global, and I thought I'd share a little bit of what's happening in the UAE. 25,000 businesses are now hiring online in the UAE, and we'll spend this year $20 million. That represents the 5th largest country on our platform. You can see that this growth rate, over 60% in the UAE of businesses hiring online. Who are they hiring? This has changed rapidly in the last few years. When Elance and Odesk first came online, it was mostly for technical talent. As we've seen products become more about their design than their functionality, we've seen designers, companies hiring designers, and this is no different than we're seeing in UAE. Writing and translation is another strong area in the region, and we've seen fantastic growth with freelancers. We now have 59,000 freelancers in the UAE, and they will earn over $1 million on the platform this year. We're not stopping there. We've had tremendous growth in the region, and now we are now hiring locally. We have Walid Al-Bashir, who is here today, who will be leading our efforts and will be hiring, will continue to hire in the region to accelerate our growth. I thought I'd pause now, see if there's any questions about online work or anything that I can answer. Yes.
Hi, my name's Chris. Very nice, interesting presentation. I just wanted to ask, let's say I'm a consultant. How do I stand out of the 56,000 other consultants and ensure I can secure a contract, let's say?
It's a great question. So you can think of Elance and Odesk as kind of online dating for businesses and freelancers. And as you would think, I'm married, so I haven't been online dating for a while, but you create a profile. It's much like your LinkedIn account. You can add your portfolio. If you're a developer, we could link to your GitHub account. If you're a designer, your Behance account, so you can see what you've done and all your accomplishments. What's different than a dating site is we see what happens after we match you. So we'll match you as a consultant with a business who's looking to hire, and then we can see what the actual outcome is, because not only are you matched on elance.com and odesk.com, but you actually do the work, provide the work product and get paid. So as we see your payment and the ratings that businesses give you, we'll start to put you higher in search, and as you get more experiences, businesses will come online. So the short answer is, if you're new to the platform, you want to make sure that everything that you've done is on your profile, and then as you are successful with the platform, you'll be much more attractive to potential hiring companies. Yes?
Just to understand. Hello? Yeah, just to understand a bit, when out of UAE, so you have the job seekers and like people, the actual jobs.
Yeah.
How are they split in terms of the UAE? Where do you see the most job seekers servicing jobs within the UAE?
Good question. So it's correct. We look at two sides of the marketplace. We have businesses and we have freelancers who are getting hired. So the most common freelance jobs that are won in the UAE right now, technical jobs are clearly number one, and as they are globally. And then different than the rest of the world, we're seeing a lot of writing and translation jobs and this makes sense. A lot of companies are launching in new countries. They're launching, whether it's KSA or the UAE, they can't do that from their country, so they're trying to get some local expertise. You see the same thing a lot with designers, where you hire folks to come in. My personal experience, I've worked in probably 4 or 5 different startups, And every time that I've needed to find someone, I would hire on Elance, and allowed me to have almost a secret weapon for entering a new company or a new market. The next one that we see is designers. Those are the top three. Yes.
And regarding the escrow process,
Yes.
what's the percentage of people that actually go through the escrow process versus the ones that just kind of go outside the system?
Sure. So there are two ways to hire. You can hire someone as an hourly worker, or you can hire them for a project-based, which is very popular because what it is, it gives both the freelancer and the business control and protection, because your money is placed in escrow before when your project is paid. So we see about 60% of the jobs go through fixed price and escrow. So you do the work for me. Once we set up some milestones, once you finished your job, I would say, he's done it. I would release the money from escrow. You would get paid, and then we would be done, or we do the next milestone. We have, I think, 26 different payment methods, including PayPal, but also ACH and direct wire transfer that you're able to do as a freelancer in order to get paid. And if you're a larger business, you can pay with a credit card. You can set up an account so we can invoice you as we do for Coca-Cola and others. Yes.
Yeah, a question here, please.
Yes. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so this isn't specific to UAE, but maybe at a global level. You announced that you acquired Odesk, right, a while ago. There's a risk when big companies acquire, their closest competitors, that the customer might end up suffering. How do you ensure that that continuous improvement cycle continues to play a big role, so that the customer ends up benefiting?
Sure. So, great question. Elance and Odesk actually merged. It wasn't an acquisition. The global staffing industry is worth $422 billion a year. This year, Elance and Odesk combined will reach $1 billion. So we're a small portion of that large global staffing, and we really think that we're disrupting how you use a traditional agency to hire. So why we merged is so we can move faster. An example of that, our mobile experience is embarrassingly poor because each company was trying to do too much and had half a person on it. So now, as a combined company, we are innovating faster by investing in things like mobile, more payment options, as well as improving our matching system.
Hello.
Hi.
Well, basically, I run a large agency in Pakistan. So my team has been using Elance and some other platforms for, generating revenue as well as sometimes
Great.
outsourcing some work. Now, I have a couple of questions. Particularly, you see when you have a job there, and then this job is bid by people from around the world, right? And there's some countries which do bid on the same job at a very low cost. It's like $10, $20 kind of stuff, right? How do you manage and maintain the lower limits of a project or the higher limits of a project? Because it becomes very difficult for other countries to compete on the same cost. This is one question. Second of all, project quality over Elance and Odesk. I have a very big concern with Elance and Odesk with respect to project quality, because the projects on other platforms, if I take the name, there's a platform called guru.com, if you know about
Sure.
that. The project values are pretty higher as compared to, the volume is lesser, but the project volume, the quality as well as the pricing is pretty higher. So how do you maintain that? And then, being in Pakistan and India, that side of the world, and, we're running one of the large agencies, but I face a lot of biasness in terms of customer support from Elance. Now, this is one thing that I'd like to point that out as well.
Okay. So first, please talk to me afterwards about the bias in customer
Sure,
support, because
sure,
I'd like
sure.
to.
I'd
I'd like to drill down on that, because that
All right.
shouldn't be happening. In terms of quality that we see, we have 2 billion jobs posted. Sorry, 2 million, not 2 billion. 2 million jobs will be posted on both platforms this year, and we see the low end that, there are minimums that can be $20 to $50 jobs for a logo, to the high end where there's 100,000 jobs for mobile applications, for example. So our experience with running a marketplace is, we have to show both ranges. We are developing, and we launched last year, what's called a private talent cloud, which is for larger clients or enterprise clients. And so those jobs tend to be much higher, and they are introduced to the best of the freelancers on Odesk and Elance. So that's how we're trying to almost separate, if you will, or at least curate some of the talent and provide the jobs to the highest quality freelancers and vice versa. And your first question was about Guru?
Project quality.
Yeah, project quality. So managing, you're talking about the job quality that you're getting on. Yeah.
Exactly, because if you see, there's a lot of volume.
Yeah.
But there are few quality jobs, very few quality jobs. But there are a lot of jobs related to logo designs and stuff like that, which is pretty basic. And then you get bids from India and some other countries like that, which are so damn low that nobody can compete on that rate.
Right. Well, I think what we do is we try to get out of the way, and that's why we're developing this matching engine. So if you are interested in very high quality jobs, you can, we will only match you with those. So there's a way now when you come in, if you say you want an expert, you want a novice, or you want a beginner, as a freelancer, that's going to allow us to point people in the right direction and hopefully give you more relevant matches.
That's brilliant.
I think we have.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, no more questions, but I'll be here afterwards and around the rest of the day and tomorrow if you have any questions. Thank you very much.